wait a minute, wasn't it a couple years ago the Penguins and Flyers were in the playoffs and they had all urinals with Crosby's face on them or something like
Yeah,
that?
I think a fan probably threw one in and took a quick picture and shooted out a tweet. But
I mean, I regularly refer to him as Cindy.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
it's, I don't know that I would ever not be able to support him if he was on my squad.
It all started, the reputation Crosby has as a quote unquote crybaby all started with the Flyers. Like in his first game, I think he quote unquote cried because they knocked his teeth out.
yeah, Chris Pronger took a two-hander across his mouth, right? Throwing
Yeah.
it in the ice. Yeah.
Welcome to the rivalry.
Welcome
kid.
to the league.
Yeah. and then the coach calls him a crybaby. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Donut Bag, part of the Pod Hub Network. In this episode, I preview the Penguins-Flyers game with Dan and Franny from the brand new High and Wide podcast. We talk about Flyers, Penguins, past, present, future, and anything else going on in Philadelphia. The Donut Bag starts right now. The Penguins have lost 4 in a row, while the Flyers are surging, winning 9 of 10. Now they're only 6 points behind the Penguins, and they play Monday night. With me to talk about it is Dan, Ford, and Fran from the High and Wide podcast. Guys, how you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing today?
Doing great. Doing better than the Penguins. They can't seem to win anymore.
They always show up at the end.
It's such a cliche, but they say throw the records out. When the Flyers and Penguins get together, it doesn't matter what the past is, what they've been doing lately. There's a special level of intensity for Flyers Penguins games. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nothing new. I mean, I'm 35. It's been since I can, as far back as I can remember.
You grow up and there's teams that you're taught to dislike, and Penguins, Cowboys, you know what I mean? It's just how it is around here anyway. The way Danny and I grew up. It seems to be a little bit more relaxed anymore, but
it's different now. I think the hatred really got it at its peak about 6 years ago in that 2012 playoff series.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was insane. The Flyers got so much under the Penguins' skin that they couldn't care less one bit about actually winning the game. They just wanted to kill a Flyer.
Yeah, it did. Isn't that the year when Crosby hit the Voracek's glove away on the ice?
Oh, when he pushed, probably.
Yeah, he pushed it away when he was going to pick it up before a face-off. Yeah, there was pure disdain at that time. It definitely has cooled off, though. I think that's just the way the NHL is trending now.
Well, even the players themselves. I mean, one of the radio stations around here, one of their intros contains Crosby's quote about "I don't like him," and the reporter asks why. He says, "I just don't like him." So that's just how it is. I think
it's been the hate for Crosby that you guys have, and the hate that Crosby has for you guys is legendary. I was at Wildwood, New Jersey a few years ago, and down the boardwalk there was all kinds of shirts that say "Sidney Crosby sucks" or "I hate Sidney Crosby." It's like, boy, you guys really don't like him. There's always been this special relationship you guys have.
Yeah. If we chant that you suck, you're probably really good.
Well, wait a minute. Wasn't it a couple years ago the Penguins and Flyers were in the playoffs and they had all urinals with Crosby's face on them or something like that?
I think a fan probably threw one in and took a quick picture and shooted out a tweet. But
I mean, I regularly refer to him as Cindy.
Oh yeah.
But it's I don't know that I would ever not be able to support him if he was on my squad.
It all started, the reputation Crosby has as a quote unquote crybaby all started with the Flyers, like in his first game. I think he quote unquote cried because they knocked his teeth out.
Yeah, Chris Pronger took a two-hander across his mouth, right? Throwing it in the ice. Yeah.
Welcome to the rivalry,
Welcome
kid.
to the league.
Yeah. and then the coach calls him a crybaby.
Oh, how the league has changed.
Oh yeah. But
And there's no more Chris Primers, that's for sure.
yeah. How have the Flyers been able to do so well these past people? Because they started out so terrible, and they've had so much turmoil, getting rid of the coach and the general manager. But lately they've been surging. What's going on?
So I feel like obviously they made a change at the top, getting rid of Hextall, which I couldn't understand because they brought him in to build a youthful farm system like he did in LA, and I think he did that. But I think his coach was ultimately his demise because Hextall just wasn't the kind of guy who coaches in Philadelphia. Like, I think he gave it a shot, but he just, no emotion. You didn't get much from him. Very stalwart, but he just never really grabbed the attention. And he was stubborn. He refused to make adjustments and changes. So you shake things up. You bring in, I think it was a good idea at the time, bringing in Gordon to coach, because if you're going to be bringing these young guys up, he's had a hand in coaching them already. So it's my opinion, and we've been putting out a lot on our end that Carter Hart, the goalie, Nolan Patrick, Couturier's been on a tear. Those are the reasons why they're able to turn it around, this youth movement.
Carter Hart, was that also Hextall's problem? It sounds like Hextall didn't want to bring him up and be super patient with him. And the patient, I've been hearing about Carter Hart for a while now. And I think it sounds like the patients just run out and say, screw you. If you don't want to bring him up, get out of here. And we're going to bring him up.
With Carter Hart, I think eventually it got to a point where he was the sixth, seventh goalie that the Flyers had to use this year so far. So it got to a point where there were no more bodies left. so they gave him a shot, and he's making his own fate now.
Yeah, notoriously Philadelphia in general, not even just the Flyers. I think they are known for hesitation in bringing up their commodities, and I think Pittsburgh's a prime example of draft a guy and put him in there. Like, not everybody comes out with Sidney Crosby's skill set, but still, you got to put these guys in and let them get some legs under them. It's a different game now. You don't have to worry about them getting beat up.
Yeah, it's the best kind of training is on the job training.
Absolutely.
Let them go up in the with the big club and see how you do. So
sure, Carter Hart wasn't doing himself any favors either in the AHL.
Oh yeah,
he was playing pretty poorly in the AHL.
Okay.
So it did come down to bodies, and then people have been talking about Carter Hart in the city now for a while, but how much faith can you really have in a 20-year-old?
You need a goalie who can steal you a game, and I think he's proven that as of right now. Anyway, he can do that. The teams that win down the stretch, the goalie wins them games when they have to, and we just haven't had one in a really long time.
That's been the Flyers' undoing for a long time. They just haven't had that goalie to.
It's only been since the 70s since we haven't had a goalie.
Ironically, Hextall was the last good goalie you had.
Yeah, and it was more of just a one hot run as a rookie, and then just a electric personality that carried him for a while.
I'm older, and I remember the Flyers and Penguins in the 80s, and there was a time there was a player on the Penguins, Robbie Brown, and he basically sucked. But the only good thing the only good quality he had was he played really well with Mario Lemieux, and everybody knew that was the only reason that like he scored like 50 goals one year or something like that. That was just because he was really good with Mario Lemieux, and so everybody in the league hated him, and he had
Sounds
a
like
really
Scott
good,
Hartnell.
I think it was a playoff series, and Robbie Brown scored a goal, and literally Ron Hextall chased Robbie Brown with the goalie stick like he was going to murder him. It's a beautiful thing. Look it up, like Ron Hextall, Robbie Brown. He's literally chasing around like the goalie stick is an axe. You just go chop him up. It's beautiful. But what do you think the Flyers are going to do at the trade deadline? I mean, this whole it sounded like they were almost going to tank the season, and now they're almost close to a playoff spot. Have they become buyers now?
I think, I don't know if Danny agrees with me. I think they should still be sellers because they have a lot of youth that they can plug in, and you get rid of some guys, get some assets, and I think you can still make a run with the core group that you have.
I think they should be sellers as well. Even though they win 8 straight, 9 of 10, it's what the Flyers do. They lost 10 games a month ago, right before they won 10 games. You can go back a couple years in a row, and the Flyers do this. So I would definitely be in the market to sell, to build on this. Got like Franny said, a lot of young guys that you could build a core around.
Yeah, because truthfully, are they going to win this year? Probably not. An accomplishment would be just making the playoffs, I think. But you can build off of that. So, because I got to be honest, if we run into not even because you're on the other end, but if we run into Pittsburgh, you're not beating Pittsburgh in the playoffs. You're not beating them.
Yeah. So who do you think would be? Who do you think they would trade? Please say Wayne Simmons.
Yeah, fan favorite. He's a local hero around here, but he's got to go.
I wish they could trade him, Voracek, and Drew. I would love.
No, come on.
Yeah,
no.
This team they need coaches to be fired since Drew's taken over as the leadership.
I think they made a bad firing when they fired Laviolette. It wasn't.
What? It's on this players.
I thought Giroux was like one of your best players.
He is. He absolutely is.
Well, yeah.
But like it's he's been the leader now since he's taken over. They don't win in the playoffs. They barely get to the playoffs. He's up and down seasons. When he had complementary players, last time when he had Yager, he had a great year. Before that, he wasn't the main guy when they went to the Cup in 2010. I'm the minority here. What you're hearing here is definitely a Philadelphia minority when it comes to Giroux. But I really, really think it's time. If they could, obviously they can. He's got a no movement. But I think it would behoove them to be able to move on.
They're going to field phone calls, right? They're not going to turn off the phone.
No, the Flyers won't. They won't.
I don't know. I'd like to see them get rid of Simmons. Jake, I'm on board with. Over the past win streak, I've been watching, and I got to tell you, I'm ready to drive Ghost to the airport. They can get rid of him too. He's not giving you anything anymore. So,
I would love. We keep hearing that Simmons is available, and the Penguins would love to get him.
Really?
Oh yeah. He would be perfect. And every time we talk about it, it's like, yeah, let's get Simmons. Then we say, nah, it'll probably never happen because why would the Flyers want to make a trade with the Penguins?
Yeah, I don't see the Flyers sending them.
I can't see that phone call.
You could blow the Flyers away, and I don't think they would do it.
Right. Yeah. I could just see that phone call. It's like, hey, we want Simmons. Like, who are you? Penguins? Nah, sorry.
Yeah, who are you without your morals?
New phone. Who dis?
So, as far as your Penguins are concerned, what are you thinking at the deadline? Danny's got some interesting cap numbers. Next year's looking a little tight money-wise for you guys. Are you guys buying or selling? I don't really know that you have to buy too high with the talent that you have, but is there anything you're looking for?
they made their deals already. Their big thing was they got rid of Derek Brassard, and that was just a disaster. They wanted